we're going to start stretched out, either uh, on your back in constructive rest pose, or if you'd like your legs over a bolster or something like that, that is just fine too. So take your time coming on down here. And it might feel nice on your lower back just to start with a little hug to your chest, knees hugged to your chest. Give them a rock or some circles or whatever feels good in your body today. And we can take a nice big audible breath. So inhale through your nose with a big old sigh. And just kind of feel yourself starting to settle in and settle down a little bit more. But then as you're ready, you could stretch your legs out or place feet on the floor. And let your eyes drop closed. And again, we're just going to take that deep breath in. With that audible sigh, feel everything starting to sink and settle. Starting to gather your thoughts, your energy, your attention to this moment right here, right now. We'll just take one more breath like that. In through the nose. Let your arms be in a comfortable place that allows the shoulders to relax, maybe rocking your head gently side to side. And whatever you've been doing today, whether you're here in this moment or if this is later in the day, if you're doing the recording later in the day, just take a moment to pause, to give yourself permission to kind of drop out of your go mode, the doing of things, the thinking of things, and begin to invite your attention here. And we'll just take a short scan down through our body. Let yourself step into the space of the observer, the witness, consciousness. As we scan gently down over the face, the jaw, down through the neck and shoulders, noticing what areas of your body are in contact with something, the ground or a cushion. Down through your back, let your ribs soften in. Let your belly relax, let your low back kind of spread onto the ground. Down through your hips and your pelvis. Down through the legs, the feet, the arms. And just feeling that quality of landing and arriving here now. As we start to create a little bit more space, just by being here, noticing what's here, starting to feel and sense your breath, your natural breath. Let's invite our intention for ourselves for this practice. How would you like to feel today? Or what would you like to invite in a new awareness here? Maybe just grounding back together again or unwinding, whatever that is for you. And I'll start to bring a little movement into fingers, toes. We're just going to get those joints moving and flowing a little bit. And you can extend the legs all the way out if the knees were bent, and take the arms overhead. Nice big stretch, lengthening the spine, elongating through your whole body. It might elicit a yawn. And again, we're just going to rotate through the wrists and the ankles. We'll take just a couple circles in one direction and then a couple in the other. And then let's gather the knees back in to the chest, either holding around or underneath the knees. And we're going to start a little movement with Apanasana. So we'll press the knees forward, just our arms length, keeping the hands on the knees. And as you take that breath in, just let it flow right down into your belly. Feel your belly, your low back rising, expanding. And as you exhale, draw the knees to the chest. And I always imagine that the thighs compressing against the belly are helping to expel all of the old air back out. And then as that new breath comes in, the knees rock forward. As you exhale, the knees hug back to you. So we'll just do that a couple, maybe 3 or so more times, getting a little bit connected to your breathing and starting to bring some blood flow into the low back and the hips. 2 more. And this could also be that opportunity to slow the pace of your breathing a little bit more, start to create a little bit more space between the inhales and the exhales. And then as the knees come back to you this next time, let's stay there and take a focused breath. Let it fan out across the back. Sigh it out. Beautiful. And then we'll keep our right knee to the chest and place your left foot on the floor. So that left knee will stay bent. And then we're just going to extend that right leg straight out with the option to bring it all the way down to the floor or to hover just a couple inches off the floor. That's completely up to you. So on the floor, obviously the muscles a little bit more relaxed. Hovering on the floor, the leg muscles and the abdominal muscles get a little bit more effort. So you get to do you. From there, we're going to take that right leg up into the air, bending the knee if you need to let the pelvis stay nice and heavy on the floor. So if hamstring is a little snug, go ahead and take a bend into that knee. And then we're going to lower that leg back down with the option again to hover or release, either way. And then the right knee slides into the chest. So a little 4-part movement here. So again, we're going to extend that right leg out across the floor. It kind of telescopes out. It floats up, keeping the pelvis heavy, relaxed. It lowers down with the option to hover or release. And then the knee glides into the chest. Let's just see if we can weave our breath into that movement. So as you inhale, extend that right leg out across the floor. Exhale, gather the belly in as the leg floats up. Inhale as the leg lowers back down. And exhale, knee glides to our chest. We're just going to do that one more time here. Inhale as you extend out across the floor. Exhale as you lift. You might be getting some popping in the hip. That's okay. It's just letting us know we've got some tightness there. I've got a lot going on in mine. All right, now as that knee comes back to you, let's bring the hands around it. Hold there and slide your left leg out onto the floor. Let's take that focused breath down into the belly, hips lower back, shoulders soft and melty. And then maybe just drop one hand away as we guide that knee around in a small and controlled circle. So let's keep the hand on it for now, so that it feels a little bit more contained, a little bit maybe more supported than just letting the knee circle around on its own. And then we'll reverse direction. So there's that sense of the hand guiding the movement, leg going along for the ride. And as that knee comes back to you, we're going to angle it this time more to the right. So knee towards the armpit for a bit more of an inner hip, inner thigh stretch for one more focused breath. Maybe pressing out through that left heel. And then sliding both knees into your chest. We're just going to do 3 rounds of Apanasana before we switch sides again. So inhale, rocking knees forward. Exhale, drawing them back. We'll do that twice more. Last one. And then we'll hold knees to the chest, taking that focused breath into belly, hips, and low back. This is all just sort of preparing the way here for the lower body, maybe to feel a little bit more at ease. And then we'll keep that left knee to the chest and place the right foot on the floor. So keeping that right knee bent is going to take pressure off your lower back. So we'll again extend that left leg out. You have the choice to hover it. So the thigh muscles, the buttock muscles, the core muscles are more engaged in that position, or to let it release. It's all good by me. You do you. All right, then we're going to send that left leg up. Again, notice at what point the pelvis wants to kind of curl up off the floor. And if you just bend the knee a little, let the tailbone get heavier, that's going to relax the hamstring. And then we lower back down, hover or release, and glide the left knee into the chest. So we're going to do 3 more rounds. Let's connect our breath. Inhale, extending the leg out. Exhale, gather the belly in as you float up. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale, knee to chest. And this one can be a little bit of a brain teaser on which way we're moving, so take your time with it. Extending out. Lifting. Yep, lowering, love it. Good. Back to your chest. And I think we have one more round. And the next time the left knee comes to your chest, we'll wrap the hands around or under the knee. Stay there as we slide the right leg out onto the floor. Enjoy a focused breath here. Soft jaw, throat, and shoulders. Then we'll drop the right hand away. We can keep that left hand on the knee as we circle it around. And all the while, we're just in that space of the observers. We switch direction, noticing the sensations, the feels, the clicks, the pops, whatever might be happening here. And then we'll gather that left knee towards the left armpit. Press out through that right heel. One more breath. And both knees into the chest. One more round. We'll kind of bookend everything here. Or 3 more rounds, sorry, of our Apanasana. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Your pace. Last one. And as you float the knees forward, let's place the feet on the floor, arms down, and just pause for a moment, scanning down through you. Perhaps observing if there is any feeling or sensation of warmth, some good fresh blood flow flowing into the tissues, into the muscles and joints, or maybe a little tingly, body waking up, energy waking up. And then let's walk the feet out just a little wider, bit wider than the hips for some big juicy windshield wipers. So you could even take the arms overhead here, relaxed at the elbows, just swishing side to side. You can rotate the head away from the knees. Good. And then whichever side you're headed towards next, let that roll you right on over. We'll pause, stacking the knees on top of each other. And then from there, take your time as you bring yourself up to sitting. And you might want to have a little something under your hips here, or even come up onto a chair if that feels easier for you. So finding any comfortable seat here in that space where your hips and your knees and your low back feel well supported and happy. Thinking about the shape of your pelvis as your pelvic bowl, and maybe we can notice if our pelvic bowl is just a really simple, beautiful wooden carved out bowl, or an elaborately decorated ceramic bowl, or what does your pelvic bowl look like? And we're just going to take it on a little rock forward and back. So your water would either tip out the back or out the front. Again, to bring some hydrating movements into the lumbar spine and the hips, but also to start to find a more neutral position so that when we come to sit, we're not necessarily going into old patterns, which in my body case would be that kind of flaring the ribs forward, pulling the shoulders really far back, and feeling like I'm sitting up nice and tall. But softening that a little so there's weight in the pelvis. There's that lift all four sides of the rib cage. Our front ribs are soft, the shoulders are soft. There's buoyancy up through the mouth and the roof of the mouth and up through the crown. The hands are resting face up on the knees. Just let your body find that neutral space to be in for a moment. So creating space to be. And then just starting to move into some shoulder circles. And I'll take a couple in one direction here. And then a couple in the other. You might have all kinds of chorus of sounds going on there in the shoulders. Right. And then this time you can drop your arms down to your sides, and we're just going to lift and squeeze the shoulders, but make sure the head does not tip back so your chin is level or parallel with the floor. And then it's a gentle drop just down. Just let them drop. We'll just do that one more time, a little lift and squeeze upwards. And then a little release. Beautiful. Right. Walking your fingertips out to the floor beside you, let's sweep the right arm up and over. And as you're coming back, we'll take it right on over to the other side. Just going to go back and forth here a couple of times, starting to feel into your side body, maybe your lower back. And then whichever side you're headed to next, we're going to pause there. And the hand that's on the floor, just make sure that the elbow and the shoulder aren't locking out, but let them be a little soft. So the elbow softens, the shoulder's just going to drop down from the ear. And as you're in that side bend, we'll take the opposite hand, the one that would be reaching up to your shoulder. And we'll circle that elbow around. So you can make this again as big or small as you like. Maybe there's a little bit of rotation in the upper body as you start to feel out around the shoulder blade, around the chest. Maybe go the other direction with it. And we're going to take the elbow and angle it upwards. Your gaze can be anywhere here, forward, up if your neck is happy with that, or even down towards the floor. And just take that focused breath into the side under that armpit. And gently come back up through center. Take a moment to pause. And if you're sitting cross-legged, we'll change the cross of the legs. That was a big puppy dog stretch. I know she's kind of off camera there, but did you just have a good stretch yourself? All right, so we're going to go the other way. So again, soft elbow and shoulder of the hand that's on the floor. Other fingertips to your shoulder, and we start with little circles or bigger circles. Tuning into a path of pleasure here. So what movements feel good in your body? Maybe going the other way here. What movements, micro movements, breath, attention to is creating some space for you. And we can take that into that held side bend with the elbow reaching up, a focused breath into that side body. And bringing everything back up. Just pause. And we're going to walk this out into a little forward fold here. Again, how far you go is not at all important. You're just shifting your weight forward a little, maybe rocking a little side to side. Noticing, and I'm noticing in my body, so my tension, my stuff has settled back into my right hip, only at a whole new amazing level. So I have a lot of what feels like really bound up tension all the way down to my knee. So I just offer that as that's what I'm noticing. So I'm going to go really slow into that, not try to force anything, but just allow it to gently, gently melt. And same for you. Where are your tension spots right now? Let's take that focused breath. Audible exhale. And then slowly come back up out of that. And we're just going to switch the legs around and do that again with the opposite leg in front, or if there's a better position for your knees, take that. Again. Find that little mosey forward, and this side will be an entirely new experience. And then rather than trying to get anywhere in particular, just find the edge where your body naturally stops. Focus on your breath, on the feeling of softening, melting, surrender to gravity. Again, take your time. We'll come slowly back up. Walk your hands behind you this time and slide your legs all the way out. Just rock them in and out, in and out. Good. All right. Now, options here to come up onto hands and knees. If hands and knees say no, thank you today, you can stay right here, maybe coming into a butterfly pose with the legs, and we're just going to work through some cat stretches. So this would be a nice knee and wrist friendly option to stay right here. Okay, moving through the spine or coming up to all fours. And then just extending out through the heart. Nice long spine. And then gather the belly in. Let's feel that tuck of the hips, the chin comes in. And we're going to round back any amount towards the feet. It might only be a few inches if that's better on your knees, or you might drop back into a fuller child's pose. And then we're going to rock forward again. Just extending out, taking a breath in. Exhaling, gathering the belly in, tucking, rounding into that C curve of the spine, leaning back into the feet. Chakra Vakasana is the fun, fancy name for our flowing cat-cow here. So let's do two more. And just flowing with your breath. And then choosing to drop in a little bit here and stay in child's pose, or in just that lean forward over your legs if you're in a more seated position. Might feel nice to find a little micro movement of some sort. A rock, a sway, a swing into the hips, or whatever might be feeling a bit snug. And we'll take one focused breath. And then I'll meet you in a Sphinx pose. So we're going to come out onto our bellies. Okay. And the wider that you take your legs here, probably the happier your lower back will be. So you could go as wide as your mat, or you could come in more narrow if you prefer. You can also take the elbows more forward to take some of that curve out of your back. I'm just going to be here a moment. So letting the belly relax, neck relax. Feel the hips and legs heavy on the ground. Now, from here, you could stay lifted up into your Sphinx pose, or you could come down with the upper body. So either up or down with the upper body. And we're going to take the left knee and bend that out to the side for our hip opener. It's kind of like a belly tree pose. Right. So again, that might look like so. If you're up in Sphinx pose, you might want to come out of it a little, again, to take some of that curve out of your low back. Or you could lower the upper body all the way down. We're just going to take 3 to 5 of those deep, slow breaths down into the belly. Let the breath spread out through the pelvis, through the front of the pelvis. across your low back, your sacrum, and check that right butt cheek. I've noticed sometimes it likes to get grippy in this position. It's holding you somewhere. So maybe it can just soften a little. That right leg can relax a little. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll slowly come out of that so we can extend both legs back. And again, with the option for a moment to bring both hands under the forehead, resting in our crocodile pose or rest pose here, or to come back up into Sphinx. So check in with your body, see what feels more appropriate today. Okay, and then we'll come to the other side. So again, option to keep the upper body lifted or come down. And we'll bend the right knee out to the side. And feel your breath flowing down into the front of the belly, the front of the hips. Widening across the lower back and sacrum. Relaxing through the left side leg and butt cheek. And let each breath just be that opportunity to melt into gravity. Unwinding any tension from the psoas, the hip flexor area. And we'll take one more breath here. And again, we're going to slowly come out of that, extending that right leg back. Option to bring hands under the forehead as we come back to center, or one more time into your Sphinx pose, however your body feels most at ease. And then we'll all relax, chest down, head down, give your hips a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And you could either roll onto your side from here, just resting on your side for a moment, or you could press back into child's pose, either way. With child's pose, you might take the knees out a little wider apart, big toes together. And then we'll mosey up to sitting for a moment, and let's find our cushions, whatever cushions, pillows, bolsters you might be using. Are you going to find your bolster too, Miss Maggie? Yeah. She thinks we're getting up. We're just getting up to lay back down. All right. So if you have a bolster, I just always like to prop the top edge of it up a little bit so it's not quite such a harsh angle in the low back. So just know you can play with that. And so We're going to lay back over that. And we're going to extend your left leg out straight, and your right leg's in like a reclining tree. It might want a little cushion underneath it on that right side. Sorry, I know that sounds terrible. She has a little health issue that makes her cough, and it sounds absolutely horrible. Her little heart is enlarged, and it pushes on her esophagus. So, sweet girl. Anyway, she'll be okay here in just a second. Yes. Okay, so you are well supported from your low back to your head. Your left leg is extended straight out, and that right knee is bent out to the side with potentially a little cushion or support underneath that thigh if that feels better. We're just going to hang out here for about a minute. Mm-hmm. So you're welcome to close the eyes. Let the shoulders melt back so we find a little opening through the chest, a blossoming of the heart. Observing where there might be any stuck stress or tension that you haven't noticed before. And if you can soften any of those areas. I'm just gonna keep that gentle awareness in the present moment. So breath is always a great place to land. And sometimes it's helpful to count the length of the breath coming and going, or to use one of our breathing mantras just to keep the mind focused. Take one more breath here on this side. Sorry, you guys, it's not very relaxing. And then we're just going to slide that right leg out onto the floor. So both legs slide out, maybe give them a little rock, let them flop. And then we're going to bend the left knee into that reclining tree position. So again, you might want to prop up the outside of that leg a little bit. Just reminding yourself, breathing in, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Dwelling here in this present moment. I know this is the only moment. Finding any little micro movements here as well that might help you continue to ease into that place of comfort. And sometimes, not always, but when your body just naturally takes that deeper breath or that big sigh, that's usually an indication that we've gotten what we needed there. Like the response has made its way into the nervous system and there's been a release of some sort. Also, sometimes yawning, sighing, Any of those things are often a little nervous system sign that, the goodness has settled in. So now we're going to slide that left leg back out. Little rock of both legs, in and out. Loosey goosey. And let them flop. And then we'll place the feet on the floor. Carefully roll onto one side. Excuse me. And just make a little transition. We'll come up and kind of swing ourselves around here. We can turn our bolster or our pillows the other direction across our mat. It's not snack time. Don't worry, not snack time yet. We're going to come onto our back. This is kind of a trial run today to see how she does with yoga, with being in here, because she's really not left my side at all for the last couple of months. And so I don't know if it's going to be better for her to be in the room with me or outside the door. So thank you for being some guinea pigs while we figure this out. Okay, so we just have on our back, feet on top of your bolster, your cushion, your chair, whatever you have there. And let's do a little hip stretch to close with. So we can wrap that right knee around. This is option one. So wrapping the right knee around the left like you were sitting cross-legged in a chair, and then drawing the knees to you. This is stretching down, kind of that hamstring area, right hip and glute area. Or you can take that into a four-corner stretch with the ankle over your knee, and then draw them towards you. So figure four stretch or knee to knee. And I'll just enjoy a moment there. And let's release that side. And we'll come to the other, whichever variation you did on the first side, maybe stick with that same one here. Left leg crossing over. You could add a little rock in there if you like. And then we'll come out of that. And your cushion is right there for your Shavasana. So you can stretch the legs over it, gathering any other props that you might like to have. And as you're getting comfy, as you're settling in, let's just do a little bit of palming for the eyes. So we could rub the palms together, get them nice and warm. And then just take the hands about an inch or two away from each other, and can you still feel that warmth between your palms? And we can sort of palpate that or play with that a little bit, like we have that ball of energy between the hands as we take them a little further apart and then a little closer. So it's like we're expanding that calm, relaxing energy between our palms, kind of charging that up a little bit, and then we can rest the hands over the eyes. Just imagine this golden light, this golden elixir of calm energy flowing down through you, soothing your eyes, calming the brain, the nervous system, flowing down through your whole body. Let yourself be the receiver of your intention, that we started with, the receiver of this golden elixir of calming, rejuvenating energy filling you, flowing down through every nook and cranny. And you're welcome to keep the hands here as long as you like over the face or maybe someplace else on your body. You can relax the arms to your sides. Getting quiet with yourself again. Creating some space for yourself in this day. Making room for deeper levels of relaxation and any new awarenesses that might be bubbling up to the surface. So just take a moment of quietude. And just slowly start to bring a little awareness back again. Noticing your body on the ground supporting you. Just sensing the space around you. And with your arms by your sides, we're going to take a deep breath in and squeeze everything tight. It's like a great big body hug. Squeeze everything tight, hold it, and then let it slowly release. It's a melt, a slow release of the squeeze. I'm going to do that one more time. So inhale, tightening the fists, the toes, the face, the belly, the legs, everything, the buttocks, squeezing in tight. And let it go nice and slow, melting, softening, opening. And then no squeeze, just take a breath. No squeeze. And on your own timing, we'll gather the knees back in and roll to your side, resting on your side. Making your way upright to sitting again. Just one more time, we're going to bring the palms together, feeling that golden elixir between the palms of the hands, and this time bringing one hand over the heart center, one hand over the belly, soaking in all of this goodness that you have created for yourself today. And just bowing in here to your sweetheart, a gesture of gratitude and thanks to your body, mind, and spirit. And thank you for being here for getting back in the saddle again with me and for allowing Miss Maggie to have a coughing spell in the middle of our relaxation. Namaste, my friends.
Yeah, and you too.
Mm.